Hello, beautiful viewers. I'm the author of the cosmos. Prepare to indulge in experiencing sheer bliss, because today another riveting, captivating, stellar unboxing video is about to be brought to fruition. What items will I be unboxing? What items will I be opening? Without further delay, without further procrastination, allow me to elicit the box. What tangible items are relegated to this hefty, bulky, nifty box? Let's find out. I'm going to demystify that answer to that inquiry, so bear with me. It will only take me billions of picoseconds to extract the items from the box and subsequently flaunt them in front of the camera for you to feast your glorious eyes on. This is the third part of my unboxing of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters action figure lot. Are these figurines a paradigm of perfection? Are they the epitome of perfection? Are they the embodiment of perfection? Do they denote resounding perfection? I believe that they're practically flawless in nearly all facets. Why? I'm an avid, devout Yu-Gi-Oh! Fan. I relish action figures, so I'm more apt to love these figurines. I relish witnessing the Yu-Gi-Oh! Series, and I also love flaunting Yu-Gi-Oh! Figurines on my various shelves. We have ample figurines remaining within the box. Let's just open the box and remove them from the box so that I can utilize them. Do they have a pragmatic use other than being flaunted on the shelf and being able to be utilized in stop motion videos? They pretty much do not have any other pragmatic uses. Are they versatile? That depends. What is the scope of your imagination? Can you picture them fighting DBZ warriors? Can you picture him coming alive? Or can you not? Who knows? That is an enigma. Now, I believe that this is Merrick's monster. Is it Malky the Destroyer? I'm unsure of his moniker. It may be akin to the aforementioned moniker. In terms of his articulation, he lacks articulation in the knee joints, he lacks a diaphragm joint, he lacks articulation in the elbows. His head is not bound to a disc joint. It can be turned at your own discretion. His wrist can be swiveled. His legs can be ascended or descended at your own discretion. He lacks an ankle pivot, so his articulation is finite. Nonetheless, he still has merit. He's a decent figurine. He looks akin to the Yu-Gi-Oh! Monster that he represents in the series, so this is a decent figurine overall. He may be able to wield some weapons. Actually, I revoked my previous statement. Apparently he cannot. His fingers are clenched together into fists, so it doesn't seem possible for him to wield any weapons at the moment, nor in the pending future, unless I displace his appendages with some appendages that have articulation in the finger joints. That's likely not going to transpire. I do not see that scenario being brought to fruition. Why not, you may ask? Well, I'm not going to spend a copious amount of time customizing action figures when there's little to no benefit associated with doing so. It's just not an efficient use of my time. I'd rather spawn more videos and seize the opportunity to create more content rather than to modify a hunk of plastic. So next we have this Machine Warrior. I believe Bandit Keys summon this warrior to the battlefield. His blade can be ascended and descended at your own discretion. I love his claws. He's quite menacing. He's intimidating. Is he sadistic? Is he malicious? Is he coercive? I did not know. That is an enigma. I love his face though. I love his facial expression. He gives off a facade that he's not content with the situation that has befallen upon him. Just like the other figure, he has limited articulation. His head unfortunately cannot be rotated. His blade can be rotated. His arms can be ascended or descended. He's a nifty figurine. He can be stationed on his blade. His arms, in conjunction with his blade, can balance him. So it's nice that he can stand up on his own without any aid. Alright. Next we have this character. I'm not sure what his moniker is. I detest the fact that there's an aperture in his hand. It seems to be a peg hole. Maybe he had the capability in the past to unleash an attack or unleash a hunk of plastic. Does he have a button in his back? He doesn't seem to. Can he unleash a salvos of energy blasts? I'm unsure. Can he unleash a barrage of devastating attacks? I'm unsure. This character's attack strength is likely 1,800 to 3,000. I'm making arbitrary assumptions at this point, but just like the other figurines that I've showcased thus far, he lacks a diaphragm joint, he lacks an ankle pivot, he lacks articulation in the fingers, he lacks a wrist swivel, he cannot swivel his waist, he cannot rotate his tail, he's relatively sedentary, his articulation is finite, his shoulder blades cannot be removed, there are holes in them, they are conspicuous, they stand out, they're noticeable, they do bother me a bit, but I can endure the situation. It's not a dire calamity. If he was produced to have holes in him, it is what it is. I cannot modify the past. We have the pumpkin. He looks like he may have been a McDonald's or Burger King figurine. He has wheels in his base. He's mobile. He can be launched at enemies. He's quite small in stature. He's relatively 1.5 inches. Next we have the Guardian of the Fortress. I recollect that he has 1,400 attack points. He's Yu-Gi-Oh's monster. I don't recall seeing him in the final series. He made cameo appearances amid the first season of Yu-Gi-Oh! Next we have one of the monsters that Weevil Underworld utilizes in combat. He leverages bug type creatures. Is this the queen bee? I'm unsure. I love her aesthetics. I love her wings. Can they be flapped? They could if you manually flap her wings, but when you do that, do you compromise integrity of her wings? I do not want to ever place my figurines in grave peril, so I'll abstain from tampering with her wings. I'm not going to flap them anymore. We have this particular figurine. It looks like a skeleton sorcerer. He seems to be hovering above this platform. Is this moment mesmerizing? Is it unforgettable? No, this figurine does not tickle my fancy in the least bit. I mean, it's decent, it's mediocre, it's not shoddy, but it's not extraordinary either. I prefer my figurines to coincide eminently with the 6-inch scale action figure line. Next we have this zombie clown warrior. I believe he was utilized by one of Bandit Keith's subordinates. I believe Bones was his name. He mustered him to the battlefield and got decimated by Joey in a dual monsters match amid the first season of Yu-Gi-Oh! When Pegasus was a notorious nemesis. Next we have the legendary, illustrious Yami Yugi. He's leveraging the Millennium Puzzle which he's apparently confined within. He's able to leverage Yugi's body at his own discretion, as long as Yugi wields the Millennium Puzzle. He can summon his cards with a push of a button. This is quite a novel feature. I love this character's novelties. The only gripe I have about this figurine is that his left arm is preposed. His right arm can be ascended or descended. He lacks articulation in his knee joints. He can swivel his waist. He can swivel his head. His head is not relegated to a disjoint. If it were, it would have more articulation. He lacks a diaphragm joint. He lacks finger joints. He lacks ankle pivots. He cannot rotate his thigh. He cannot move his shin in any facet. His calves are preposed, so it's unfortunate that the Pharaoh cannot articulate his appendages eminently. Nonetheless, he still has merit. Why? Because I love the Yu-Gi-Oh character. I love Yami Yugi, also known as Dark Yugi, I think. Next we have another hunk of plastic, which is apparently the card for the baby dragon. Do I love stem cells? Do I love sketches? Do I love engravings? Well, this card would warrant a 1 penny price, in my opinion. That's my humble opinion, though. Yours may be disparate from mine. Perhaps you wouldn't pay a penny to procure this hunk of plastic, but I certainly would. I love Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I relinquished my collection nearly half a decade ago. Alrighty, just wanted to verify something. It seems as though these figurines were released amid the late 1990s. Yu-Gi-Oh figurines were also released amid the early 2000s. The ones released post the 1990s likely had more points of articulation, but that is an enigma. I've yet to compare and contrast them. I've built up my roster of figurines. I can add these figurines to my prodigious action figure collection. The box is practically depleted, with the caveat of this leg. Not sure who it belongs to, but I'll retain it. The box can be consigned to the trash. or I can recycle it and reuse it at my own discretion. It's up to me. Am I dismayed? Am I appalled? Am I agitated, or am I floored? Well, since I love to revel in watching Yu-Gi-Oh!, I am gratified that I obtained these figurines. I am not dismayed in the least bit. I just would have preferred if they had more points of articulation. However, just because their articulation is finite, in stark contrast to the Toy Biz Marvel Legends that have over 30 points of articulation, is not enough of a deterrent to disincentivize me to procure these figurines at a discounted price via eBay. So if you want to amplify your prodigious action figure collection, if you want to obtain various Yu-Gi-Oh! Figurines that are showcased in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Doom Monster series, then I recommend, advocate, and endorse procuring them via eBay.com for discounted prices, so that you can obtain homogeneous figurines at the lowest possible prices. You do not want to succumb to paying triple or quadruple the price to obtain a figurine new when it can be obtained for a quarter of the new price or a third of the new price, used only with minimal wear. So even if these figurines have scuffs and a few scratches and have some dents, it's not the end of the world. It's not a major dire calamity. I'll cope with the situation. I'll likely forget where they have scratches over the course of time and just enjoy them. I want to relish these figurines. I did not want to hone in on blunders associated with the figurines. If they're marred with some scratches, then so be it. It is what it is. I'm a realist. I accept the world for what it is. If I truly want untainted, pristine condition Yu-Gi-Oh! Figurines that are in mint condition, then I'll just procure them new, but I'm not that fussy anymore, nor was I in recent years. In the past, I would desist from opening my action figures because I did not want them to succumb to getting scratched, but I'd rather utilize what I have and enjoy it rather than leave it confined to a package that is relegated to a storage unit. So I'll make do with everything that befalls upon me. Is out of my control. I hope that you found this video to be enthralling and insightful. Have a wonderful, marvelous day. Goodbye.